What's up, Steve? I thought you'd pop by. Yeah, welcome to the stream and my massive audience of thousands. This is how you gain stardom, I believe. I don't know if you can hear Liam in the background. I'm just working on this bad boy. I was hoping to paint today, but I just realized it's not ready to paint. So what I'm gonna do is, and I don't even have. I need to put medium on it, like seal it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to finish this, and then probably just adding some texture to the background right now to kind of kill the white. If you can hear loud banging, that is Liam banging on my door. Um, yeah, just gonna try to add some texture to the background. Then I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna do color comps. I think instead. I've got my palette ready, so that's what I'm doing. I was the I was the Met. Oh my God. What's up, Lily? I knew some people would come by. I have like 7 videos like on here live streams of me just lonely just drawing. So it's nice to actually have some people come by. Earlier I was like, should I just talk to myself on the stream? Like cuz it gets stored as like a VOD like on the channel. So I was like, should I just like pretend like there's people there? Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see them. Post them, dude. Yeah, even like earlier though, like I almost put a bunch of eraser dust into my coffee and like I just laughed about it and I think on the stream I just look like a crazy person. What is up, Lily? What are you up to? I haven't seen you in forever. I hear you're yeah. Yeah. The path to I think art superstardom is a little bit of delusion, so hallucination's not too far from there, you know? Like that. Yeah, I hear you're doing some really cool stuff, Lily. I haven't checked in with you in a while, but I hear you're working with a pretty big name in the industry, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should or shouldn't say like somebody like a name in public to the 2 other people in this chat. Yeah, they are good fiber. It helps wash away the paint particles too. You know what I mean? Because if you're ingesting acrylic paint, you should get some eraser dust in there. You know, your wrist is borked. No, like like nerve pain, like overuse. That's cool though. Even if I'm sure the mentorship was pretty cool. Where do you are you coming to the league these days? I've come through Sunday a couple times. I haven't seen you. Calling you out in front of Steve. That's what you get for walking into my chat like that. Ah, shit. Yeah. Tendonitis sucks. I've had it. I've had it. I've had it real, real bad. Um, don't don't let it go unaddressed. You gotta deal with it. You can't draw through it. You gotta rest it, but you also, at least in my case, yeah, at least in my case, I had it real, real bad. I had like carpal tunnel. I had something called golfer's elbow. I had like all kinds of overuse in my all up and down my arm, and It turned out it was actually like a pinched nerve in my neck just from shitty posture more than it was the actual like repetitive movements. So you gotta definitely like get it checked out, man. It really it fucking sucks. It's scary, I know, but like yeah, try to get PT. Have you tried anything like that? Hmm. Should probably try to de-emphasize down here, get some more gray. You know what? I'm going to put some soft stuff down here. Okay, yeah, good. How was the mentorship? Oh my God, Charles is here too. Jesus Christ, I would have put on a suit if I knew all these people were coming. Yeah, this is watercolor. This is the big boy. This is the big one. Not the biggest one, but it's like roughly the right size ratio for a fake Magic the Gathering card, which is kind of what I'm going for. Still not back to 100%, which sucks. We're gonna get some pages done. Yeah, gotta wait it out. You just gotta just play the long view. It's like one of those things. It's like a sports injury. You just gotta rest easy. You know what I mean? Like, right, big is 2020 is 22 by 30. Yeah, that's right. That's also very expensive. Like, yeah, this is good. 12 by 16 is good. But yeah, Lily, I feel for you. I do. I really do. It sucks a lot. It really, really does. When I had it, I was trying to like it was. I got it early too. I got it really early because when I first started, like really trying to take like art training seriously, I kind of went in like I went super hard and ended up was doing like Drawbox and like all that kind of thing and doing the 250 box challenge and drawing like all the time. And when especially when you're not used to it, like it's easy and it sucks too because you're like, oh man, I feel like I'm falling behind. You're not. So if you ever get that feeling like you're on the sidelines or like that urgency, it's not real. The urgency is not real. It feels realer than anything, but it's not. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, the value structure is looking great. Thanks, man. I like the fact that with pencil, it is hard to go too dark. Like as long as the relationships, like the structures there, it's good for glazing. I don't want to go too dark either though, because I will be glazing and like darkening it progressively. So that's why I actually really like this like robust process. Plus, I mean, I'm just a coward, so I like being able to erase. Yeah, you've got 6 more pages to finish for this one shot by the end of July. Oh shit. Are you working traditionally, Lily? And yeah, Charles, I try to use my teeth as much as possible. Um, just to yeah, to try to rest the wrist. If that was advice for Lily, I mean, Lily, I got to agree. Yeah, the teeth are good. You can get a surprising amount of control using your teeth. Feet's cool. Feet, feet. There's just problems with doing that. I mean, like, Lily, you should try feet maybe. I was gonna try feet for this stream, but I feel like you got to be careful with your feet in the internet. Yeah, digital helps. That said, my hand gets more tired doing digital than it ever did traditional. So, like when I got the overuse injuries, it was because I felt it like I was doing a lot of work, traditionally, but it really flared up when I added rushing a project. My first ever like project that I ever did was actually what messed me up. Oh my God, Mark's here too. Oh my God, what's up, Mark? Government prop. I wish I was a government prop. You know, I mean, I'd have like some resources. Like, I'd have like probably like 1,000 bots here to like pretend like I'm popular. Please, if the government is listening, please, 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 I will send whatever message you want if you can allow me to derive a stable income from my art. I will shill any sort of agenda. I have no qualms with anything. I can't talk about the Roswell thing though, Mark. Yeah. It's old news. Nobody cares anymore anyways. Like it's just not cool to talk about the Roswell stuff. I missed a window on that, you know. Plus it would reveal my true age. Hmm. All right, I think I should do the start doing the color comp. All right. Let's do this. Where did I put those sheets? Okay. That's the original. Yeah. For reference, if you guys are curious, this was the how I did the original drawing, and then blew it up and transferred it, and then I ended up kind of reworking these, which is kind of why the drawings themselves they're a little bit shittier and messier. But yeah, this is the original drawing, and then blew it up, and then I printed these out on like cardstock, and then I'm gonna put some medium over that, and then do a color comp on there. I think that's how I'll do this. Steve, do you have? Oh my God, Dan's here too. I wouldn't have known from Steel X, dude. Dan, how are you? I'm. I feel like I'm like I'm forming a cult here, possibly, maybe if I play my cards right. I'm getting everyone back, you know, and as the only one with visual the visual power over the visuals, I feel like I'm in a position of authority, you know, that I can abuse. What do you guys think? I was thinking about doing for colors. I was falling asleep last night and I was thinking about it and I was like, what should I do for colors? And I don't know. I think I'll try. I'm gonna see how I like. For him, I kind of want him to be like an albino, but I think I got options. I can either go like yellowish or reddish, and I can go warm or cool either way on him. But I'm thinking for the armor is going to be it's just the biggest shape. I was thinking doing either like a very dark, like kind of desaturated olive green color, and then on this side more of like a bronze, like a dark bronze, and then maybe have the chainmail like a bluish color, like a cool gray. Cult of RSI. Dan, the fact that you still have access to your email from when you were 12 is super impressive. I wish I still had access. I had my original 12-year-old email. Like SteelX is not that bad. Mine was willzilla123 at hotmail.com. So I miss I miss that email. They don't hit the same anymore. Oh. Steve, I didn't know you got arthritis pretty bad. I mean, I know you've had flare-ups, but do you deal with that a lot, like now from the drawing? It's in your knuckles, right, or is it your thumb? Mm. Here's my jar of dirty paint water that I keep in case I ever get too dehydrated. Wondering if I should actually skip the medium since I'm not really going to be saving these, and I just need to see what the colors look like. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do that. Right. Yeah, Charles, you stain it with the paler complement of what you think will be the main color. Yeah, I've been toying with the idea. I'd usually do like a yellow wash or like a like a warm wash. I might not because I've been reading about gamut masking by Gurney, by James Gurney lately, and I found that like a very interesting and useful idea where you create your own primaries of like varying saturation levels to mix everything else from, and that kind of keeps you contained in a way, almost like you did glaze it already with a hue to almost do like a like a color correction for the whole thing. But yeah, and I kind of think I shouldn't do both because that might actually push it too far in that direction. So I'm thinking maybe I should. Honestly, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Wondering if I should put medium on this right now. I think I'll wait till after the color comp. Too nervous. Too nervous that the drawing isn't ready. I mean, sometimes when you draw, you feel the ancient Egyptian curse of the Nile writhing in your veins. That's just how you know it's working, man. That just means that that's what we call flow. All right, let's use two big flat brushes. If you guys are ever looking for decent cheap ass synthetics, the Blick Essentials are not bad for just. You can get a huge bag of them, and they're really not bad. I usually add the red sauce after I've sautéed the garlic a little bit. Yeah, I like to let it bloom. They get the aromatics. And once it's starting to bloom a little bit, I know I've kind of done sautéing. I might throw in the onions then, but I'll usually I like to have that base and then I add the sauce. That and the trick is a little bit of sugar and a dash of red wine, and your painting's gonna come out good, real good. Yeah. Okay. Got my trusty Stay Wet palette. Sorry, Mark, I can't show you the blooming onion on here. That's paywalled on my OnlyFans. I'm realizing I should have done a lot more research into the color gamut masking that I just mentioned before going into the color comp, but I bought a bunch of desaturated colors for any color nerds out there, um, like Terra Verte and like it's very transparent colors that are really good for uh, glazing. Yeah, sorry, Steve. I know you told me, you gave me the secret painting recipe, but that's a dog eat, dog eat, dog eat, dog world out here, and I'm gonna monetize any secret information I get my hands on. Dan, ketchup's good. Ketchup's good. I mean, that's depends on the brand, though. You know what I mean? Hanes overrated for pasta sauce. Oh my God, comic booker is in the chat. Now I feel pressure. Now I feel like, well, first of all, let me fix the exposure on my camera. I keep getting backlit, so I keep descending into the shadow realm. Yeah, here. Now you can see me more clearly. Blood is good for glazing. See, that's a pro tip. Yeah. Depends on what kind of blood, though, too. You know what I mean? Um, the I found Mark's blood to be like oddly viscous. I find it much better for adding the highlights, but you got to desaturate it. It's too green. Am I headed to gouache or watercolor, Charles? Neither. I'm doing acrylics. I'm gonna be doing acrylics. This is I was actually thinking about doing acrylics and then oil for the highlights on top of that. Oh my God, Tabitha! Oh my God, what's up? Wow, we've got a lot of people. God, that's a major Art Students League support. It's great. I love you guys. Mark, I appreciate it. I understand that your ugly children reek. And you've sacrificed so much for me and my channel. Um, I have 5 subscribers, so I need your ugly, hideous, disgusting children to reek more. Charles, no, not even liquid. I'm using open, which is kind of like it has the consistency of heavy body, but it's a little bit transparent because it's full of like the slow dryer stuff. So it's kind of like heavy body, but it's a little bit more transparent. And I mix that, like I dilute that down with a little bit of thinner and like a medium, like a glazing liquid, and I get pretty good coverage with it. Like it moves around pretty easily. Yeah, but no, I was thinking about doing acrylic and then oil for the highlights because the reason I wanted to do the really robust underdrawing was to kind of solve all the value problems, of course, kind of like a grisaille, get a lot of free texture, and then also kind of just have to colorize it. It's less painting. It's kind of a cheap way to paint, but just like working transparently, glazing, bringing the saturation up while also progressively darkening, and just kind of going darker and darker and darker, and then bringing the opaque highlights on, and that's when it really does kind of come to life. I've done that previously for the past bunch of paintings that I've shown you guys, and I've used the whatchamacallit, acrylics. You know what I mean? Just good old titanium white for it. But I don't know. I've been toying with the idea of being a fancy oil boy and doing that because if it's the last step, you don't actually have to wait for the drawing time, but you do get the workability and like kind of the soft edges and stuff for free. So I may or may not do that. For now, though, I'm just gonna go in. So let's see. Let me pick. So for this side, I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna try out the color. I'm gonna try on this for the color comp will be. I think I'm gonna do the green armor, and then over here I'll do the bronze armor. And I'm just gonna take one more look at the drawing to see if I should maybe put some medium on it. Do you guys think it's ready? Do I just go in? It's still funky in parts, and like the value structure and relationships I think are clear for the forms, but it's not. I was hoping to get the foreground actually a lot darker and more draped in shadow, but as I started just putting the forms into lighting, I kind of found it hard to stray away from what my brain calculated it should be locally. So I mean, and everything's a little bit too hard edged as well, but I'm kind of just getting impatient. I've been working on this thing forever. Oh, you saw him. Oh my God. Yeah, no, but see, I understand, yeah, that they've been banned for harassment and hate speech. That's exactly why USOM gets a free subscription to all of my content on here on YouTube, on Patreon, OnlyFans. You know what I mean? YouTube members, all of it. Substack. Am I going to use inks for the blacks? Probably not. No, I've used acrylic inks sometimes when I put down. I'll use like raw umber. I don't really use black. There's that whole like painter rule that they say like a lot of people subscribe to, which is like don't use black because it kind of kills the color a little bit sometimes. I think that's kind of bullshit because there are a lot of painters that do a lot of great stuff with black. I think it does make sense to kind of be very careful with it for shading, like or at least rendering, like especially if you're working in midtones where you actually want the midtones to be probably generally the most vibrant part of the form. The highlight will be a little bit desaturated and like the deep shadows will be desaturated, but the midtones will actually be like the half tone will be generally more vibrant. So no, I'm not going to use ink too much. I'm probably I if I do use black, I use a color called bone black, which is like a transparent kind of warm black that's not very vegan because it's literally like even with all of our jokes about using blood for glazing, like bone black is not far from that because it's literally like crushed, charred and crushed bones that's been turned into paint. So it's a great color to use. You just might be haunted. All right. Yeah, let's get going. Let's see. So I think for the bronze, I think I actually got really ballsy and got a cadmium orange. That might be useful. Phthalo blue. Let's see what I got. Let me lay them down. Let's see. I got some benzodiazepine, phthalo. Here's that juicy, smoky bone black. It has nice smoky notes, hint of mushroom. Quinacridone red. That might be a good one. That's a color that apparently they don't use quinacridone anymore. So if you see it, Payne's gray. Oh yeah, Dan, you're asking about inks. Another thing that I'll use. The thing that I use like a lot in everything, whether it's like gouache, watercolor, all of it is Payne's gray. Like that's the shit. I love Payne's gray. It's a beautiful color. It's as close to black as you kind of as a lot of people want to get. Very powerful. It's like a super dark blue. Great for turning. You mix that with a red. That's the other thing. Yeah, Steve to the chromatic black. Mixing a black is great. Yeah, if you because then you still get a little bit of hints. Like so, a lot of people will mix like ultramarine blue and like a red, and you can get a really beautiful dark with that. Yeah, I was painting with Steve. I had the great honor of painting with Steve yesterday at in the park, and I thought it was cool, man, how you were mixing with the gray itself. Like instead of mixing to the gray, you kind of just added some life to a neutral gray. That was really nice, and your painting was fucking beautiful, man. Ah, I do have cadmium orange. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe also maybe for the bronze I'll go generally saturated, like a little bit more intense, and maybe for the green I could do a bit more down to earth, more neutral. Charles, in Daniel Smith watercolor, Jane's gray is fabulous. Is that a typo or does Daniel Smith because they do a lot of funky stuff? Hey, you some have fun at the art market. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got to hang out. Let me know when you're coming to the league next. But yeah, Charles, Jane's Gray, is that an actual thing? That sounds cool because I know Daniel Smith they do all the funky experiment stuff. So um, that sounds like something they would do. Okay, I'll need my titanium light. All right, let's get painting. Let's just go in. I'm gonna try for the one on the left. I tried to. I was gonna be really organized with my palette. I've seen Gurney do like these really cool like color strings where he's got his three subjective primaries he calls them, where he'll have like one very saturated color. He'll mix a desaturated mixing primary to use as a primary to mix everything else, and like another one, and that'll contain his whole palette. And he does strings. He does like a value string for each color. It's very like it's very cool for if you like that whole super rigid mechanical way of doing art and color. All right, I'm gonna mess around actually. Let's see. Let's go with the very transparent colors over here. We'll start there. I think it might be interesting to do. Yeah, let's just see what happens if we go like super transparent. Um, and we'll do. Let's do the bronze first, and let's see what happens when we work with almost exclusively the transparent colors. And I think I'll avoid using any strong yellow. I'm just going to use yellow ochre. I think that'll kind of just limit my palette in at least a little bit in some way. And I'll obviously keep the strong old titanium white there. So, yeah, let's see. See how this goes. Here, so I'll fill up my palette on the camera. Cool, Jane's gray is their black. Yeah, I was actually going to change my name. People have told me I'm like the White Bob Ross before too. Almost changed my name to Rob Boss for a while. I was thinking I actually did secretly legally change it, and then I changed it back. I didn't tell anyone because it didn't feel right. I didn't tell you guys. Um, I feel safe enough now to open up with you in that way and tell you that I was Rob Boss for an undisclosed period of time. It's really hard changing your name back, by the way. It's a lot harder than changing it. It's a complex legal transaction. All right, so there. And so for this, I'll actually use more. This paper's probably going to curl up like crazy because I don't have it matted or anything, but who cares? These are just color comps. I'm not even going to be very like. Um, use the glazing fluid. Yeah. I'm not even going to be very like precise. I just kind of want to see how the colors look next to each other. So let's see how this goes. Let's get some water in this. Let's get that sliding around more. That's cool. Is it how different is it from the Jane's Gray? I mean, from the Payne's Gray, from like a standard one. And is Daniel Smith like the best? They have all the cool funky colors. They seem like a really innovative company, if not controversial for all the mining stuff they do for the. Am I painting on a prime panel or paper? So Tabitha, I am painting on this bad boy over here. These are the color comps. This right here is just literally just shitty cardstock because I'm just doing color comps for the big boy, which is over here. And this guy is just a watercolor block, just hot press watercolor block. You know what that is. You know what this thing is. You see it every day. I'm sure you guys have that block at the league. Needs to be wetter. Get them moving more. Let's just kill that white. Yeah. it's so funny. Like, I didn't realize, like, oh, there's a lot of companies that make, like, we associate specific, like, kind of paints, like Michael Harding with oil, Golden with acrylic. Like, all these companies make other stuff. Like, I was at the Stationery Fest down in Florida, where my wife was tabling for her for Letter Alley. If you guys, anyone on here who doesn't know what that is, that's my wife's calligraphy and wax seal um, side gig that's now becoming her main gig. We were down there, and I saw that Golden has a watercolor set. It's just kind of freaked me out. It seemed wrong, It's like, who do you think you are, Golden? You don't do watercolor. You're not allowed to. Like, I would think that they would be good though, because Golden kicks ass. Like, as far as paints go, I think they're probably the best acrylics. At least they're like the most. They're kind of the Daniel Smith of acrylics. I feel. Oh, okay. Tabitha, yeah, the smallest block you guys have is the 10 by 14. Yeah, that's not very small. That's pretty big. I mean, I don't know if that's. I don't know how small the actual sizes go down from arches. But it's expensive. It's worth it, but it's expensive. I mean, they've been making paper since 1492, which is just crazy. It's almost as old as Mark. Like, can you be as old as something that is eternal? Oh, you do? You guys have the golden watercolors? Have you tried them? Oops, I got some blue. That's fine. I don't care. Who cares? Might be nice. It's actually probably good. That area is going to be cool, anyways. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think golden's the best for acrylics. I've tried Liquitex stuff, um, but I don't know. I mean, I like the slow dry acrylic thing, so it's just they've got the best ones. So there's a French brand though that the fantasy artist Jesper Esching, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he uses them, and he's crazy though because he uses an airbrush with just water to keep it wet on the board. Yeah, I mean, but that's cool, Mark, because you had extremely long arms. Like, we've talked to like everyone at the league that one time you were out. We had class. We probably talked about how long your arms were the entire 3 hour session. Yeah, the model actually had to leave when we started describing how long they were. Yeah, just literally quit on the spot. Said she would never art again. Nobody blamed her. Okay. All right, so let's start messing around. So I want it to be a bright day, because I really want the heat to be really intense, like the downlighting. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was a dark moment. I think the trauma of describing I thought it brought us all together, you know, in a weird way. Here, let's get some blue. That might be the wrong blue. Manganese blue. It's actually more like a cyan. Yeah, it's reading. I'm gonna have to build that up. But let's get dark. I gotta remember not to take this too seriously. Color comp. Just get the colors on there. Yeah, that's not nice. I don't like that. That's too strong right now. It's not what I'm going for. I'm gonna probably brighten that up with some white, actually. I'll actually use this zinc now. I should stick with. No, that was a tactical decision on my part, Steve. Please don't interrupt me. I'd like to keep my head in front of the camera when I'm streaming. It's it's just my style. It's my art style. Excuse you. Correct, Mark. That's true. Again, I'm not really sweating making this like like tight. I'm just gonna throw some colors down and just see because I really don't want to get lost in the color comps, which is totally something that I can see myself doing. I should probably though, like if we're talking about like the actual painting itself, I'm gonna try to keep it a little darker around here because I'm gonna have a big. He's gonna be a big highlight. I want like bright, like white hot, like totally blown out highlight on the top. I don't know how audible Liam is in the background. How's my spawn? Is that? Can you hear him? Like he's crazy. He was banging on the door at the beginning of the stream. I thought like NYPD had shown up. He's like walking around and stuff now. He's he's a little monster. He's terrifying. I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid of him. he's he's so strong. It doesn't make sense. My strategy for this is going to be um oh wait, no, that's the wrong spot. Is to just get darker and darker. I'm not really liking the way the bronze is looking as I'm just I mean this isn't even going to be the final color, of course, but let's see. It might work actually. You got to remember it's like it's going to be I'm trying to emulate a Magic the Gathering kind of style, and so and like kind of like the way they design, and like the kind of design constraints you have going for a card. So, like a really intense, really strong value, like big value shape in the center, I think will be helpful. Oh yeah, I mean he's gonna kill me on stream, and then he gets to. I think that'll be like that'll be our 100 subscribers event. He's going to be the 100th subscriber. He'll just get impatient and just make it happen. He'll be like, Dada, it's time. All right. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Well, all that talk about the Payne's Gray, I didn't even put it on my palette. I'm gonna do that. Sorry if you can hear Liam in the background. I think think Mahag's probably feeding him right now, and he's probably not liking whatever. He's probably like making his opinions known. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's get some darks going. I mean, I'm just gonna lay down, just block in, I think, hues, and then I'm gonna worry a little bit more about values afterwards. You don't worry about values in this house, just results. All right, let's. This is. I'm actually going to some Payne's Gray that I guess picked up a little bit of the white that I didn't see on my palette. So I'm using white palette paper. It's kind of creamier than it should be. This is looking like shit. But it's just the beginning. Maybe the biggest lesson I've learned since my foray into more robust paintings has been like, well, you can just paint over it, kinda. And that's the point of this. I'd rather make bad choices here than on the actual painting. Like for example, like this blue that I put down, I'm putting down right now, not the right blue. Little too bright, a little too close to the sky. But I think it's also more revealing. I think the real problem is that's not what bronze looks like too. That's the wrong color. It needs to be a hell of a lot darker. Not having the final drawing on there, I think, is also kind of what's holding it back a little. So I'm gonna mix a little bit. I'm gonna start making that a little bit darker. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Steve. I should put the darkest dark down. Yeah, I realized actually that I should have um, bronze has a green hue to it. This is what I get for doing this without reference. I realized that I should have I instead of doing the photocopy of the drawing, I should have done a photocopy of the actual finished drawing that I have behind me. Oh yeah, cooling that off, Steve. You were right. Getting a little bit of greens in there. It's already starting to look better. Just in terms of the hue, the hues together. Like yeah, it'll clash less with that blue, and I think the sky needs to be a bit more desaturated. But yeah, let's get some more greens. I'm finding the manganese blue to be really intense. Like it colors everything really strongly. might notice that fishing rod right there. It was a weird addition to the idea at the last second. Hmm. Oh, wait, that's too much paint. Let me just darken that a little bit more. Just cover it up real quick. Just get covered. This should be a very desaturated color. Hmm. That foreground's already so dark. What is the plan? Um, just kind of stress out about it. That's what I was thinking. I mean, unless you have some sort of idea. No, just kidding. No, like so I want it to be really dark. I like it actually being darker there than it is in the actual drawing. I was hoping for something a little bit like that. The plan is, so I'm thinking. I mean, it's just gonna be dark. The only important message is that it be conveyed with shadow. I'll probably try to keep the boxes pretty neutral, cool-ish, make him a little bit warmer, but still, I don't want his contrast to be super high either at the same time. But I'm gonna try to resolve this armor a little bit more. And to your point, I think I need Dan, is this my next D&D character? Nah, I wish. This guy's a bit this is like a character from a concept I've had for a while about like a fantasy detective. And he's like a dog the bounty hunter type character, but he's also mute. He's like they call him Zerd because no one knows what his name is, and lizard, like big lizard, they call him Zerd. And so I actually thought of him because the device over his shoulder right there is an actual historical device that you might be familiar with called a man catcher, and which was used to kind of just hook the necks of criminals You know what I'm saying? Which I should probably get for Liam. Um, and it's like it basically you can see how it works. Really, I mean, like if that's your neck, you kind of just jab a dude with it, and he's kind of caught there, and it sucks, and it's terribly inhumane, and probably super effective. I'm gonna get some reference. Let me see, bronze armor. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, definitely need to start thinking about for putting in those darks. I should probably put some raw umber on my palette. It's not very transparent, but looking at bronze, I think that raw umber would make my life a hell of a lot easier. Use that as my other dark. I'll use that for like a warm dark. It's not very warm, but it's in terms of value, it's pretty powerful. It's very opaque though. You do got to be careful with it. All right, I should probably reference my actual drawing too. And claw some of this back a little bit. But this is the thing I do like about the Golden Open is in some ways it does behave like oil. Like you can see over here, it kind of blends a little bit because it's still active. On like acrylic, normally, I put it down. I put the white down a couple minutes ago. It's still wet. Like I could totally still go in there and I could really do some wet on wet blending. Yeah. Yeah, this needs to be way, 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 way. We need to be a little bit braver right now. Okay. I should get some more contrast on him as well. Let's get some of those greens in there. A little bounce light going. I want to cool that orange off. I'm also starting to think that maybe a more intense yellow might be something to try on the other side, on the other color comp for this guy. Mark, you're reporting this video. Thank you. I mean, that's engagement. I mean, mutually assured destruction, you know? I'll report you. I'll report your chats. I think I can do that. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do, I think a good way to bridge the colors would be, Steve, to your point, there is some green in the bronze. And if I have a little bit of green going on in there, and then if I make the boxes like a pretty dark bluish, and to get a little bit of notes of green in there, I think that might help a little bit with the cohesion. And there's like watermelons and shit in there, so some watermelons and shit, some pineapples. I'm still not a huge fan of it, but I'm starting to see some ideas, and I think that that's what's good because I think when you do like a digital color comp, you can really try to like make something that you actually really like, and you can refine it. But then you're not working with pigments, and then so it's not really a true color comp in that you don't really know how close you can get to that. All right, and I should get darker over here. Again, I'm not really worrying about the forms. If I had taken a photo of the actual finished drawing on the final surface, it would have made this color comp a lot more effective, I feel, because I this doesn't have the values. Like this was just the drawing, the basic drawing like plan, really, more than even the drawing. This is starting to look a little bit more closer to what I envisioned. Right, exactly. Even if you do CMYK, it's going to look different. I feel like that's something that like somebody should develop, like like a or maybe people should just do more traditional color comps. And I like the fact that I'm basically just trying to do the way I saw Jesper Estring. I still don't know how to pronounce his name, and I feel so bad. He's like one of my faves. He just does too. He prints it out on copy paper. It's even smaller. He just puts globs of paint on it, and then he'll mix and match. He'll be like, I like the way it looked in this one with the way like this other element looked in that one. And I think it goes back to that whole thing about like limiting your choices. Just it's another constraint. Like because with digital, you could just fall in love with it, and you could do the whole thing. Like your color comp could end up, you could end up refining the shit out of it, doing it with different layers, testing ideas, like too much. And I think, especially for somebody like me, who could easily fall down that rabbit hole, I think it's good to just give yourself like built-in limitations like that. Okay, he's gonna be kind of. It's gonna be some cool on top of. It's not gonna be truly warm. He's gonna be hidden by shadow. All right, now time to turn our attention back up here. Just start putting in a little bit more light. Start making more informed choices. I'm not liking the blue though, and I should still push some more values here. Okay. That's a little bit too much. Wondering how I should resolve the shadow side of this guy because his local value is so bright because it's like bright white. I don't want it. I kind of want it to be blown out. I think I have too much midtone going on there. I think I should blow it out even more. And then I was thinking his tongue might be a good like Fortnite. When you start playing Fortnite. And I used to review mobile games for a living. It's the only time I ever played Fortnite. I went and played for a little bit for my boss, who was in Rajasthan, India. I just got murdered and yelled at. for, but I used to be horribly addicted to PUBG for a little while. Yeah, to the point I took pride in how good I was at it. Can I make the snake into a turtle? Dude, for you, I can do anything. I can do anything for you. Except that. Yeah, I think this I don't know. I don't like it. And I know the values are off, and that's part of why I'm not liking it. Um, it's not anything. It's a really intense blue. It shouldn't be that intense. Um, like there's no cohesion, there's no statement, there's no like real color statement being made here. You need to figure something else out. Like this just doesn't make sense. Nothing's like leading. There's no emphasis in the right place. So let me just start doing some shit and see what happens. I'm looking at that green. I do think it needs more greens. And I'll probably get those in the plants. I've laid down some darks already, so I can kind of glaze actually because it's kind of dry. So I can get some more greens in here. Maybe little hints in the chainmail. I think that might add to the tropical vibe because I don't know. Part of what I was going for. I was thinking like in my head, it's kind of like a bazaar by like a seaport in like a seaport town kind of thing, and obviously this dude's supposed to be hiding from this guy among the pineapples and the watermelons. Epic thumb close up. Deep will gamer lore. My gamer lore goes deep. I mean, it really does. That was one of the best jobs ever. Reviewing mobile games for a living. All right, well, let me put the music back on. It was cool. I did it for like a year. That was actually when I made my most art gains, or my foundational art gains. Was I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would torture myself with studies for 3 hours. Go to work. By go to work, I mean just switch the windows on my laptop to now, and they're still up there. There's articles on there. I have articles like they were on a website that was formerly known as the Android Soul. Because it wasn't just so specific that it was mobile games. It was mobile games on Android, and it was fun. Honestly, I mean that's a fun job. It's not a serious job, but it's a fun job. I did a one of my favorite pieces. It was really early. Was looking into Roblox scams because Roblox is an absolute nightmare hellscape that every parent should be afraid of, and on there just like it was crazy. Like I made an account and I walked around, and part of it was people just scamming children out of real money or like potential money because there's like valuable there's a real economy in there, and there's people like getting like digital items that other people really care about and convincing other people that don't know what they have to just give it to them for free, and then children figure out they've been scammed. They're traumatized, and someone at Roblox makes a lot of money. And yeah, that was terrifying and horrible. And then another real my favorite article and series of games that I ever wrote about was I tried to convince my boss to make it a regular thing. I think we only did one, but it was a review of the worst games on the Google Play Store. And because the Google Play Store is also, it's a direct route into the bottom of the human soul because it's so much wider. There's so much. There seemed to be a lot less. I don't know. It seemed to be easier to get up on there than it was on the Apple App Store. And so I just went on looking for like the weirdest, worst games, like the most inexplicable games on there, and like one of them was like it was like a Russian driver simulator where you just wake up and you just walk around like a very empty like Eastern Bloc like apartment complex, and you can go to a shop where you can't interact with anything. And you can drive around the apartment complex in a car. That was it. It was kind of nice. It was very like it was kind of zen, you know. Like I don't know. And then there was, but the best of the best of the best was a screaming cactus game. It was just a game where it was there was just a cactus on the screen. When you would touch it, it would scream. It was so good. I gave it like 5 stars. I was like, if you're gonna play anything, play this game. Yeah, that was great. That was a great job. I still remember it fondly. I really do. I'm liking this a little bit better. I think the touches of green are bringing it back. I still don't like it, but there's something to that. You know, there's something to the little hints of green that I think are working for me. Yeah, Mark, you remember getting groomed on Roblox? Good times. Yeah, you were my favorite. Jesus Christ. Just gonna get perma banned on my first real stream. Real talk, what do you guys think is missing from this right now? What should I try on this other than like, a good set of colors? What else is missing? I think maybe some of the gold and yellow ochre might be helpful for some of the bronze look. It might be a little bit too hot still. Uh, I think that could work, but I got to get rid of this like little hot spot. Base on the bottom's a bit dark. Yeah, I mean, I'm toying with it. It's less dark in the drawing itself. Thing is, like, I don't want him to be. I want it to be dark. I don't want it to be so dark that it's confusing. The idea is he is looking for this guy. This guy is hiding in the boxes of fruit or whatever. And he should look kind of scared. You know what I mean? Like kind of nervous. I think it works better in the drawing itself. I think that aspect in like the final drawing. Red says bounce like good call. I'll try that right now. But yeah, I think he looks a little bit more like, and I don't know, does he look kind of like Jason Bateman to you guys? I feel like when I was working, I was like, I feel like he has a bit of a J. I'm talking about the snake guy, of course. But yeah, Dan, it's a good point though. I'm gonna try to make it so that it looks like a more intentional choice and not like what the fuck's going on there. Steve, let me try some red bounce light. That's a very good call. It should be warm. I already like what that's doing. Part of the problem is I'm using like a mix of water and um, Steve. That kicks ass. I already like that a lot more. I'm liking that a lot more. Um, the thing with acrylic is when you do mix water, like some people say don't use water to like glaze. It works fine. A lot of people do. The only issue is when you do that, if you go in with water on paint that is not fully like cured or whatever, or it's like fully dried, you'll lift it. You'll lift it more than you will. Like if you do use liquid, like satin glazing liquid with acrylics, you won't lift it as much. It'll just kind of blend more than it is lifting. But the lifting, I'm actually liking the way that's because that's kind of contributing to the kind of like the metal quality, lifting a little bit. It's working for me. Steve, that was a great recommendation. I don't know about you guys, but I think that that's already looking a lot better. I think the sky is working for me a little bit too. I think the green blue. I think now I got to kind of add a little bit more life down here, and then probably come back in, work with the chainmail a little bit more. I'm probably going to brighten up the rod because I don't want to lose that. That's part of the character. If we were to all like feast on Mark, how long do you think we how long do you think an average turnout for the Sunday class if we were stranded on an island and we decided that we were all gonna survive by feasting off of Mark? How long do you think we could go? I'm asking the hard hitting questions people are afraid to ask. Everybody wants to know. Nobody's ready to ask. I think a day, because he'd be so delicious. We wouldn't be able to ration it out. I think Mark's probably delicious. Nah. It wasn't about the food, Mark. Like in this hypothetical scenario, there's plenty of food available to us. Like I said, we just knew you'd be delicious. Yeah, but Dan, Mark is your lawyer. Of course he's going to say that. He shouldn't be representing you. It's a conflict of interest. All right, time to go in on those boxes. Maybe green. Maybe push the green a bit. I don't know. Or no, I think because I want to push the really, really dark greens on some of the fruit in there. So I think just like a warmish. No, it's got to be cool, but I think maybe more neutral. Weird palette. Terra Verte, um, transparent red iron oxide is what I'm using for the red. I'm not even using a real red. Terra Verte, manganese blue hue, yellow ochre, raw umber, Payne's gray. Go for an aqua. I don't even know what color that is. I don't know what color aqua is. Like a very cool blue green. Okay. Okay. So you know what? Let's try that. I'll put in some of this manganese. This manganese shit is super intense. You can see my horrible palette management. I swear I'm usually better. It's not gonna look as intense as I put it down because there's already some color. So it'll. That's probably a good call though. Push the blue more, and then let some greens come through for like the foliage. That might make the sky less atrocious too. I'm just gonna go straight with the manganese. I'm actually liking like the texture that I get from kind of the lift off. I actually might try to recreate some of it. That might be too much blue. Yeah, that's a little too strong. So that's that. I'm gonna kind of lift some of that out. If there's anyone here in the viewership that isn't from the Art Students League in New York Sunday comics class, our conversations about eating Mark are probably like I forget this is technically public face. So I shouldn't talk so much about eating Mark. Mark Ship, very talented Mark Ship, aka the Futuristica, who everybody should check out. I say like I have 1,000 viewers on here. That's kind of working for me. I think that it might make sense to do with the kind of lift off here, like just like almost like there's like a little bit like a fabric overhead, and there's like a little bit of bleed through. Just like a little bit of. So I'm gonna warm him up a little bit. It's starting to work for me a little bit for a color comp. I think this is getting there. Yeah. The only thing that gives me, I think that this makes sense to have kind of like his belt stuff a little bit more neutral. Yeah, kind of use maybe the same colors. This is like a wooden rod with like an iron, like I don't know, stuff on it. This is chainmail. I'm wondering if I should go cooler, but maybe not, because I think that the that aqua look, Steve, and I don't know if this is the color you were thinking of, but it does remind me of like underwater fish tank kind of green blue. That's really nice. I think that kind of adds to the idea, the vibe in my head, which isn't really, I don't know, visible in the image itself, but I do think of this guy like chasing this guy in like a seaport town, like you know what I mean, like off to the left, it's by cobblestone or something. Off to the right is like a marina, merchant ships coming in. This is like a bazaar full of fruit. You know, this guy's going for like a run in the medieval equivalent of like the container stacks at like a port. And that kind of wet algae green kind of it's working for me. Just gonna darken him a little bit more. I do think this guy is the wrong hue. I think I should probably make him a little bit more yellowy in parts. And like he's in shadow, so I can't play as much as I would with like the color zones of the face, I guess, but he's getting a little too out there though. Let me give him a little green to kind of cool him down. Yeah, let's look a little bit better. I'm liking that. I kind of like that idea, like kind of thinking of that as like a general color family. That aquatic, nasty swamp water kind of look. Yeah, just throwing a suggestion over here. It's supposed to be like a pineapple. Um, so I'll just throw in a suggestion of like a warm color. That's a little bit more than a suggestion. All right. The only thing I think now is I kind of think that the fact that I don't have that I'm only have the transparent red iron oxide might be holding me back a little bit in what I originally wanted for this guy, which was not that like a pinkish hue, you know what I mean? Because he's like an albino, which is what I was thinking. So he's gonna have a bit more red, like red pinkish accents. You know what? I might be able to do that if I am intelligent. Slim chance, but maybe. No, that's not really working. Nah. Put pink in the eye. Yeah. I thought that was a pink eye joke, but no, you're right. His eye would be pink. His eye would be pink. Let's do that. What color should I make the tongue? I know that technically speaking, it should probably be like pink. Should that might be a good call. But I don't know. What do you guys you thinking of any other anything else that might be interesting? I'll pull out a hue for just the pink. I'm gonna get out the. I think I'll do maybe a quinacridone magenta. There was no reason for me to use an entire sheet of palette paper for just one color comp. Oh, it's already 4. I'm probably gonna bounce in like 45 minutes. Time flies when you're making cannibalism jokes. Just a suggestion. I like it. I fucking like that actually. Yeah. The question is, yeah, the tongue. I was originally thinking maybe Dan. No, Dan, of course. I mean, remember, this is YouTube. I'm trying to monetize this shit, dude. I mean, I'm not. I don't even know how to do that. I'm liking this color comp, guys. I'm liking this. It's the values would have to change, but I think conceptually it's working for me. I the last piece is the tongue, I guess, and maybe a little bit of like what I should make the kind of Terminator on him because I do want to blow out the highlight more. But the tongue, I don't know. I could do something crazy like use that blue. Um, but maybe the pink actually, because that little suggestion of pink I think is working. I think I'll just do more of the pink, and then blow it out with the highlight as well. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So that's one. I'm gonna call it there. Actually, no. Let me do a little bit more of just the lightning. Let me lighten this guy up more. And I know it's a color comp, but maybe I should be a little bit less shitty with my brushing. I should just. Yeah, that'll do. I kind of like it. I think that simplified it well. I think Steve, that was a great call with the aqua. I think that that kind of helped me resolve the sky a little bit. Also, your call about the red, the red or bounce light. Basically, thank you for being my art steroids. You're my performance enhancing drug for this color comp and generally. Here, let me move this up top. All right, I'm gonna. We might make sense to go back to this, but since I'm probably gonna bounce in like 40 minutes, I'm gonna try to start working on this one. And then I'm gonna get a slice of mark after this. Okay. I was thinking cool blue armor. You forgot a 0, Steve. There's a typo. You said 10%. You forgot one of 2 zeros. I think I'm gonna add, yeah. So if I'm gonna do like a cool, maybe like even reverse the color scheme somewhat. Do like a cool olive greenish blue armor, and then I like green and yellow generally. I find them to be a very good color palette, like green and yellow, and then like a bright splotch of like a reddish orange color, or even like a purple, like a cool red. So maybe I'll try that. I'll do like greenish, green heavy for the armor, like more like a yellow, warm yellow for the sky, and I think yeah, like something similar for around here, but dark. So it'll be not muddy, but close to it in a good way, hopefully. And maybe do and that I could really open up the red too for the tongue. I'm just gonna put different palettes. Oh wait, let me remember what I did for this one. So this was, well, I have it on stream, so I remember what I used for that. So I will use. I really want to try this Naples yellow. What a beautiful desaturated yellow color. But I think for this, it would make sense to do something a bit stronger. The benzimidazolone yellow medium. I think sap green. And let's just go strong here. Naphthol red. Maybe not use any blue. What would that be like? I'm not really. I'd be using more of the. Let's see what I have for blue hues. I don't want to use the manganese again. I've also got cerulean blue. The phthalo green, actually. Phthalo blue. Yeah, that's probably, it's heavier than the others, but phthalo blue, just for the greens. Maybe not even use sap green. I don't know though. I really do think that looks like a good choice for the armor though. Maybe stick with the Terra Verte. And then grab. Maybe instead of using a red, no, let's grab the red. Let's grab the red for that pink. That's the quinacridone. I've got naphthol red as well. Where the hell did I put that red? Maybe it's a sign. It's just not meant to be. Did anyone see where I put the red? Where's the quinacridone red? Strange. Alright, fuck it. I'll just use the naphthol, I guess. Alright. Let's see how this goes. You know what? I might cheat a little bit. And I will actually use that Naples yellow. Found the red. I hate the fact that that was recorded. I'm just going to put a bunch of colors on my palette. I feel like you're technically not supposed to do that, but I usually only mix everything. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's see. All right, I'm going to put some of that Naples yellow in the background. I'm not even going to do the yellow underpainting. Just see what happens. I'll go back to playing my royalty-free music. Except that one, 'cause it's annoying to keep hearing it. No, Mark, you're not allowed. You have to you have to stay. You haven't given me enough time. I'm not ready for you to go. Thanks, dude. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. We need to go eat in our sketchy Chinese restaurant soon. Once Liam's 18, we can do that. Peace out, Holmes. Wow, Naples yellow smells like shit. All right, I'll probably brighten that background up a bit more later, but I'm just gonna go in with the sap green on this guy. Start moving that around, see how that looks. I got some red in there. Almost looks like watercolor. Which, frankly, is one of the coolest things about acrylics. I really like it. I kind of feel like acrylics get a bad rap. People tend to think of them as when they think of acrylic, they tend to think of just heavy body. There's so much shit you can do with them. I mean, from the fluid acrylics to the different kind of viscosities that you do have access to, plus all the gels. And you can turn it into like frosting practically, where it can literally you can almost make a sculpture out of it. You can thin it out. You can make it dry slow. You can make it have like inbuilt texture. You can use it like watercolor. You can use it transparently. You can use it opaquely. It's pretty cool, actually. A good book I recommend is for anyone who is interested in trying it out is The Acrylic Painter. It's like a landscape painter dude who does what a lot of people try to do and tries to like kind of imitate oil, get kind of the shit you get for free with oil, and acrylics like soft edges, blendability. All right, so let's remember to go darker than I think it should be. Put some paint spray in there. Anybody on stream drawing right now? Okay. Show off. Oh, nice. Good, Charles. How was your workshop, Charles? Is it 2 weeks or is it 1 week? The perspective workshop. Did you wrap it on Friday? Use more of that Naples yellow. 1 week. How was it? Yeah. I mean, you said you were having a good time. Um, and yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I'm assuming nothing, yeah, crazy happened at the end. It remained awesome. That's good, man. Perspective is the vegetables a lot of people don't want to eat. And if you can make it tasty, if you can add that cheese on the broccoli, that's the magic. You're doing the Lord's work. It's the number one vitamin deficiency of a lot of people. It's perspective. I see that there's a ton of perspective bullshit in here that doesn't make sense, but I defend myself by saying those were informed choices. I think it mostly works. Values are a little bit off in this. Oh, cool. Yeah, the perfect cube. That's awesome. I remember you and Steve working on that a lot. You guys were both, I think, going to the drawing board for really how to really show that and make that work. That's awesome. The perfect cube blew my mind too. It is fucking cool. That was fucking cool. Yeah, you guys. I believe that the first time you guys did the perfect cube, you actually, I think, you summoned an eldritch being onto our mortal plane that you guys had to vanquish. Did you have that happen again, Charles, during the workshop? Did you guys have to like slay or banish a unspeakable, unknowable entity back to a realm that is beyond our comprehension? Because I think that would be good for the class to experience that at least once, Give them a taste of what it's like to work in the real world. Oh shit, I picked up some of the orange from. Oops. It's shaking because I just whacked my head on the camera, which is my phone. Steve, you say you made a deal with a demon and it's fine. You said that last time. A lot of people now imprisoned in that perfect cube. How many people did we lose in that first one? That they're all sentient and alive inside the cube, right? I don't think they think it's fine, Steve. I don't think they think it's fine. Oh, that's way too strong a red. Jesus. I've kind of fucked up the color over there, too. Man, that red is strong, actually. That quinacridone is generally not that. I mean, the magenta doesn't seem as strong as the red is. Maybe I just put too much. I need to get some more blue in there. Let's get that phthalo out. The phthalo is strong as shit. Like that's a very unforgiving color. One drop of that, especially when mixing, you can just burn through so much of whatever you're mixing it with, just trying to bring it back down. Even there, it's just so intense. This one is not looking good so far, but it's too early still. It's still too early. Problem is, I think I went too green on that chainmail. I'm losing track of this one a little bit. Let's stick with the plan though. Let's get some more titanium white. Let's brighten up that background. Wow, I just dropped way too much white onto my palette. That was $1. Yikes. This one is. I think I made it too green too. I think that's part of it. I want it in my head. It was going to be more neutral, so let me tone that down. Oh shit! Now I'm just painting over it totally. I should probably make him a little bit yellow. Yeah, yeah. Mixing the phthalo is like making whipped cream with TNT. It's crazy. It really is. It's like I put one molecule in it, and then suddenly my entire palette is like bright, like just shocking blue. All right. First of all, maybe I should go back. That transparent red iron oxide, actually. I'm going to dip into the other palette a little bit because part of it is I just did raw Naples yellow um, for both the background and the. And this thing. It's a little too opaque too. Let's see. Let's see. Throw this down and then I'll. Don't like it. That's the wrong. That is. That is so bad. All right. Let's first of all try to fix the values a little bit so it's less distracting. Steve, you got any advice for me? It's turning into some dog shit. Or just something to explore. I mean, again, this is just a color comp, so I tried something wacky, and I'm not liking where it's. I'm not liking it right now, which is fine because I do kind of like the other palette, and I think that the bronze actually gives a lot more interesting options. But I'm curious, like, where you think what I should try. Love to hear your thoughts or anybody's thoughts. But Steve's the one I'm secretly paying in crypto to feed me information. So you better cough up the wisdom if he wants the gravy train to keep flowing. I'm gonna put this down. Oops, that's what I get for not. For not oh, yep. See, there you go. Oh, it's not even the phthalo. That's the manganese, which is pretty strong. It's just more transparent than phthalo. Needs red somewhere. Yeah, it does. I'll get that in there. I'm just gonna block this in a little bit. Just suggest a little shadow, like we did with the last one first. Just kind of fix the values a little bit. Oh yeah, and the sky's off, right? I mean, the sky is kind of nasty. That was the wrong choice. Add red to the background. It's got to make an appearance inside somewhere. Let's see. Let's see. I will. As far as red goes, maybe let's try something a little bold. Let's go too bright red on the tongue. It'll look a little bit nasty for a second, but I'll dial it back accordingly. But let's just get some red on. Oh God, that's so bad. Yeah, and let's put some white in there to tone that down. And honestly, um, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna put this down. It doesn't really make sense, like for it to be a red background. But I'm gonna introduce it and then paint over that a little bit. I don't want to suggest that it's sunset or anything because it's quite the light. The down lighting is very harsh. It's more suggestive of like high noon or something. But I'm gonna put this down. Just see what happens. We're just fucking around here, so I'll put some white back in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow too. Keep it, try to bring it back to that green, so it's more like an orangey. Bring it back to that like kind of green and orange. Yeah, it's too strong, but it's getting there. Like as an idea of, I think like I should probably like dial that yellow back a bit. Now I think we have a bit of a values problem. So it's blocking it with my big fat head. Get some of that yellow into the armor. And let's knock back the sky now. Yeah, I fucked up the sky. That's two. I think I put too much. I think that the phthalo might also be the wrong blue for this. I'm gonna try a little bit of the manganese, give this a little bit of blue, and then again knock it back a little. Get some of that Payne's Gray in there. I'm gonna check out that Jane's Gray, Charles. That sounds really cool. I was messing with the Shadow Violet again from Daniel Smith. That's a great color, man. I mean, not only is it great for like the cool thing that it does where it kind of separates beautifully when you use it by itself, but it also um, for mixing it's nice because it's like almost the same value as Payne's Gray, but it's a little bit warmer when you mix it. I think that the underpainting gave the other one much more cohesion. Cerulean. I should have gone Cerulean. Yeah, I have it too. I was thinking about it, but yeah, I should have gone Cerulean. I think my eye is starting to like this one more. A little, not more, but I think it's only because the values are a little bit better because I just went a little bit darker there. I still think the colors are more interesting over here, and if I were to adjust the values, I think it would be better. Still leaning towards the first one. Yeah. I don't even know what the hell you use Thalo for. It's so strong and so overpowering. I don't even know how to deploy it effectively. All right, let's turn our attention back to these boxes. I want to try something other than the green blue because the aqua color I think works so well on the other side, but I don't want to. The purpose of this is to explore a different idea. So let's try. Let's go back to our Naples yellow and some raw umber. Maybe heavier on the raw umber. Dilute it with some water so it's a little transparent. And yeah, let's see what. Oh, that's too opaque. But that's okay. I don't need to keep the drawing. Not here. Not for the color comp. I know where everything is. Could use a little bit more yellow. Yikes. That was the wrong yellow. Mmm. That makes sense. Yeah. That's such a painterly way to describe that. I love that. That's a great description. Thalo is great, but it doesn't play nice. It can fight off a cad red with pride and courage. That's really great. What a great way to characterize the paint. Charles, do you know much about color field? Like, do you is that kind of something that you're interested in when you're doing abstract? I met a guy who was telling me that I asked him what kind of art he does, and he was saying the guy who runs one of the art stores here in the city. One of my favorite art stores, Soho Art Supplies. Great place. One of the guys there was telling me he works uh, on color field stuff a lot. Not a genre or a type that I'm super familiar with. Is that? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Is that uh Rothko Colorfield? And I believe Rothko is he's the one. I mean, I know Rothko. I quickly say, oh, I know Rothko. I know. I love his stuff. Is he the guy who was like he got famous? Well, obviously for being a great artist, but his whole thing was he uses house paint. Was Hans Hoffman? Was he at the league, or was that during your travels elsewhere? I don't want to paint over that side just because that yellow is distracting, even though it's not even in the canvas. Oh, did he? That's cool. I like that. I like because color theory is one of those things that more than like almost any other thing is like perspective is it's either right or it's wrong. Color, I don't know. Even though I think that there are great, incredibly helpful rules that I stick to because I don't have a great and intuitive sense for color at all, as is clearly demonstrated here. Some people do, but some people do weird shit with color that they break rules in a way that I really like. Steven Zapata is an artist that I really like that does a lot of stuff where he just nails his values and he just does weird shit with the color, just like stuff that is not color theory at all. Provincetown, okay, yeah, cool. You know, you think I could find some of his art online? I'll go look for him. I'm wondering if this raw umber is too much, but I want to knock back some of that blue I put in there earlier. Oh, it's 4:44. I should probably call it soon. In a couple minutes. Anybody here who doesn't know me in real life? I see there's a few people online. Anybody here who doesn't know me? Curious. If so, welcome. Let me try to block in the last of these colors and maybe try to make a choice in the final minute here. I'd love to hear generally what everyone on here what they think of blues forward, red back. Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me. Like, why not? Yeah, it's really about your ratio, you know. Like, it is true, definitely. I mean, like by the textbook that. Uh, yeah, Steve, dude, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for all the tips, man. As usual, like I think your advice with the red bounce light on there really, really fucking made that piece sing for me. So thanks, man. Enjoy your nap. Show off. Yeah, thanks for coming by, man. And I had a good day yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I put too much water. You can see that it's not even binding to this. Yeah, good work. You made more progress than I thought you'd make. Yeah, same here. I think honestly it's helpful being on the stream because I was kind of distracted by questions. So just moving forward, I didn't I normally like I would spend a lot more time getting my palette. I would never brush mix, dab one color, dab the other color. Normally I have like a little like spatula thing, like a little silicone spatula thing that I use like a kind of like a palette knife, and I organize it and I think too much first, and I definitely would normally move a lot slower. So yeah, I think being on stream actually helped that a bit. So you know me too well. It's true. I normally would probably still be working on the first color comp by now. I think maybe a purplish color for him actually would be good. Good call for. God, I fucking hate this Thalo. I might legitimately just switch to cerulean if I end up liking aspects of this more. I don't think the purple works though. I don't like that. I don't think I have to paint over it and fix it here. I think I can just note that I don't want that. I should probably separate that from the armor a little bit more. And not lose the foreground here. I guess Thalo is also very useful for. I mean, I'm finding it useful right now for putting a little blue back into the Payne's Gray because it's so intense that it can fight a darker value too. It can make its presence known. All right, let me before I close out here. Purple's the most saturated of all hues. I didn't know that. That's interesting. So it's dangerous. Pale violet. Yeah, I have nothing along those lines. I have nothing that even comes close. The closest is, and it's not close at all, is my quinacridone magenta. It's not even close though. That's just a cool red. Yeah, that makes sense to me though, because it gets really intense really fast. And whenever I try to mix a purple. Yeah, let me see. The last thing I'll do here is let me throw in that iron, and let me throw in some of the highlights that'll be there. Let me throw in that iron. Let me color these up too. Just get them not super lost. I don't want them to grab too much attention though. I don't like this guy's face. I don't think either of the color comps really got his skin somewhere I wanted it to be. And I think for my final drawing, I actually need to go back in before I seal it and add some more texture. Do you want to knock that back a little? Alright, now let me go in with my huge, massive dollop of titanium white just to experiment with where the highlights are going to be. No. Definitely out of the two, I find the one on the left a lot more cohesive. And I think it was a lot of the meandering around, but dioxine purple is hardcore. As in a good way, it's a good one. Yeah, that's nasty. This one's nasty. I'm definitely a fan of the other one. Okay, hardcore in a bad way. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, too strong. Yeah, I find I don't even think in purple. I tend to just default to like yellow and then blue green. Yeah. But all right, man, it's 4:52 for me. I see I got a couple other people still on the stream. Whoever's here, thank you for stopping by. If there's any other people from the Art Students League on here, thank you for being awesome people. And if there's anyone here in New York who isn't from the Art Students League but is on here on this random dude's art stream, you should go to the Art Students League. you should go and join. Um, they have a great comic class and they have a great inking class. Anything by Steve Walker or Charles Houghton. Sorry, I think it's Houghton. Check it out and join the crazy people family that is. Thanks, Charles. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go take care of my crazy monster of a little boy. I think I'm gonna stick with something along this one. Bye, everybody.